The meeting will be called to order. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No changes to the agenda that we know of, Dave? Anybody have anything they need to change? Okay, so we just need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, well, I don't see anybody for alderman or mayor. Anybody here want to?
Well, don't look at me.
Would be fine if you can run it fast. So we'll go on to item number 6. We just need a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of Tuesday, August 6th, 2024.
I'll make the motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of Tuesday, August 6th, 2024. Second.
Okay, there's been a motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the next part is public input. Anybody have any? No, Lisa, you got some.
I do have one thing.
Okay.
I'm gonna be the person that says it. Okay, so, just hearing a lot of chatter about the golf course clubhouse being closed on Mondays now.
Okay.
Several people have told me that, and I kind of agree with them, that maybe this shouldn't have happened until October, you know? People are kind of hesitant, like, are we missing out on a lot of revenue from this? Because people are now going there to golf for free on Mondays and also bring their own beverages. So, and I know like with league on Monday, they were always opening later in the day, but I don't know if that could be something that could be again too. So,
Yep.
just wanted to put my little 2 cents in and,
Yep.
I don't know.
I talked to him too, so.
because it was very abrupt too. That was the other thing. Like
Yeah.
people were like, oh, that happened real fast. So,
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's all I know.
All right.
So here I am to represent all of the people that we're talking about.
All right. Anybody else? Okay, at this time, we're gonna have a special declaration for Peyton Moeller. Or Paxton, not Peyton, Paxton.
Hear ye, hear ye. Let it be known that Paxton Moeller, a distinguished resident of the city of Alcester, Union County, South Dakota, has been crowned the National American Miss South Dakota Junior Teen. In recognition of her exemplary achievement, poise, and dedication, we hereby declare this day, Tuesday, August 20th, 2024, as Paxton Moeller Day. All citizens are encouraged to celebrate her accomplishments and draw inspiration from her outstanding character and contributions. The City of Alcester wishes you luck and success in your upcoming competition in Orlando, Florida in November.
On behalf of the city, we just hope to put that towards something to help you out a little bit.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate it.
well, we're proud of you. So,
Thank you.
you guys, yeah, I'll sign this, then when all the council.
Yeah.
And you can have this. So, you guys want to come up and show our support for her? She's not short.
You have to go.
Dave, you should be in it. Nope. You don't? All right, move over, Carrie.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you, guys.
Good luck.
Yes, good luck.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
All right, do we have any legal updates?
I don't have anything other than what we'll discuss.
Okay.
Sheriff's office reached out, they did not have anything
They
specific.
didn't
this
have
month.
anything, okay. All right, so we'll go on to, number 10, the resolution 202409. IM 28 opposition.
In your packet is an email that was sent out by the attorney's office through the municipal league, just discussing city resolutions for opposing the initiated measure. Basically what it is, if you're not familiar with initiated measure 28, will be on the ballot this fall. It is in regards to the repeal of sales tax, specifically for consumable goods. The biggest thing here is the loss of revenue to the city general fund and second penny fund. For the city of Alcester specifically, estimating that we would lose almost $53,000 in revenue between the general fund and the second penny. The biggest piece to that is the loss in revenue for the second penny fund. The second penny fund is not only where we use the funds that we use to pay, you know, the big loan payments for the bonds and stuff, but also what we use for capital purchases for equipment for different departments every year. So that loss of revenue of roughly $26,000 out of the second penny fund would really hinder our ability to replace aging equipment. And just make it difficult for us to continue to maintain the city.
So we can talk about this to people? I mean,
In an individual capacity, yeah.
You can,
You can share your own
individual.
beliefs.
Okay.
You know, this is just a general resolution. We don't, but I would caution the councils against, you know, speaking out and saying, hey, vote this way, vote that way. I think it's a general way, if you want to speak in an unofficial capacity as an individual citizen.
To another person.
That's your right. But as a city, we're not adopting a position or anything like that.
okay. So we don't need to do anything else with it right now. It's just to make us aware of it, correct?
It would need to be approved,
We need to.
just like it would be anything else.
Oh, we need to approve this
Correct.
resolution.
I can read it for you if you'd like.
Sure.
Whereas initiated measure 28 was certified for the November 2024 general election ballot by the South Dakota Secretary of State. Whereas initiated measure 28, if passed, would remove state, municipal, and tribal taxes on all items sold for human consumption except alcohol and prepared food. Whereas human consumption is undefined in South Dakota Codified Law or the South Dakota Constitution, Black's Law Dictionary defines consumption as the act of destroying a thing by using it, the use of a thing in a way that exhausts it. Whereas South Dakota Codified Law 34-45-1-7 defines tobacco products as any item made of tobacco intended for human consumption, including cigarettes, cigars, pipe tobacco, and smokeless tobacco and vapor products as defined in South Dakota Codified Law 34-46-20. Whereas South Dakota Codified Law 10-52-2 allows incorporated municipalities to impose a tax on the sale, use, storage, and consumption of items that conform in all respects to the state tax on such items up to 2%. Whereas initiated measure 28 is in direct conflict with existing state law, and the Attorney General's explanation of the measure states legislative or judicial clarification would be needed if the measure passes. Whereas the city of Alcester levies a 2% sales tax and collected $227,081.98 in the 2023 fiscal year and $133,917.20 year to date in the 2024 fiscal year. Whereas the city of Alcester estimates an annual lost revenue of $52,763.38 unless initiated Measure 28 is rejected by voters in South Dakota. Now therefore be it resolved by the Alcester City Council in and for the City of Alcester, Union County, South Dakota, that initiated Measure 28 would negatively impact our community and its residents. Adopted this 20th day of August, 2024.
And I can kind of clarify a little bit of that, and I apologize. I was looking through my string of emails. That was strictly what Beersford City Council was, because there was some concern. Because this was sent out by the municipal league, correct?
Correct.
Other municipalities have adopted this. Some have deferred it and said we don't want to pass this as a resolution because it gives the appearance of a city council taking a position on a ballot measure. Other municipalities have passed it. There is precedent in the past of municipalities adopting resolutions regarding specific election ballot items. So it's really your guys' decision based on, there's actual numbers according to it, and the only thing the resolution is specifically stating is that this is going to negatively impact based on what our numbers are. It's not necessarily saying oppose or deny or approve or deny IM 28, but specifically just stating that it will negatively impact the finances of the city.
I think people need to know that. Don't you? Because if we don't, then it just would be big know nothing, correct?
I mean, you could get it out by word of mouth, which should be done regardless, because it is gonna impact the whole state, not just us as a city, but.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think most people would hopefully know what the consequences of something they're voting for, but I guess they wouldn't know our specific numbers.
Because the average person's gonna think, oh, I don't have to pay sales tax on food anymore, I'm for that. They don't know the outcome of the whole thing.
Well, they look at Iowa and they say, well, they don't have it, but
They have state tax.
they have state tax, and are we gonna end up with that because the state has shortfalls? I just think it's probably a bad deal.
I definitely think as a whole, everybody should educate themselves on it, because it, like I said, doesn't matter where you shop, it's gonna impact the state. And correct, it could lead to something else. As a city, I think it would be nice for people to know the numbers, but having a resolution isn't necessary, but it might be helpful. I don't think it will hurt anything.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it too. Can't give me a second there.
So we just have to approve the resolution or pass the resolution?
Pass the resolution.
I'll make a motion to pass resolution 2024-09, IM 28 opposition.
I'll second it. Okay, there's been a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Move on to resolution 202410, special maintenance fee for maintenance of street services.
This is the special maintenance fee of $1 per foot for the curb for a citizen's home that we've had in place. It's renewing the resolution to continue for fiscal year 2025.
Discussion on that?
I don't have a discussion, but I do think it would be worth talking about, like, what we can do to, as a whole, again, our budget, we have several special assessment fees and justice charges, like, what could we do, or what can we do to maybe eliminate these in the future? They are necessary, and this is how we take care of our city and whatnot, but I do think it would be worth just thinking, like, how long are we gonna have to do all these special assessments, and what value does it bring? You know, obviously we know what it brings us money to pay for things, but I know that there are residents that are frustrated with how many assessments we have. So just what that will look like. Obviously, I am for it. I think we need it going forward. But looking, 5 years, 10 years down the road, how long are we gonna have to continue?
Piggybacking off of that, this isn't an assessment necessarily, but I have heard a lot of complaints about the fee for having a dump when we really don't have a dump. I mean, all you can bring there is tree branches and concrete. It's not really anything that citizens get any use out of, unless you pull out tree branches, I guess, but that's maybe 1 year thing. So that's something too I've wondered about in the past, why we're charging for use of a dump that isn't really a.
I mean, if you think about it though, in a physical, like a monetary value, if you have one large tree branch fall down, you're gonna pay how many hundreds of dollars to have somebody haul that away?
True.
You pay $6 a month.
I mean, I guess for me, I'm thinking I would just chop it up and use it or something, but.
But you're not.
That
technically
fee
supposed to.
also helps
Well, I think
us,
camping with me or something.
There, but.
Yeah.
that $6 garbage fee that we charge also helps us pay for the spring and fall cleanup.
Oh,
Bring the
that's true
dumpsters
too,
into town.
which is very nice.
Which is the biggest cost. I mean, it's thousands of dollars to bring those dumpsters in for a few weeks, and the landfill fees that we have to pay, which is a hefty cost every time they have to dump it, and
Yeah, which that's huge. That's really nice to have.
we actually, I mean, when you look at it, we lose, it's not like we're making money off of that fee.
I guess I forgot that it came out the same thing. For some reason I was thinking that was allocated someone else, but that makes more sense.
But I understand that people would be frustrated if they aren't using it often.
Right.
But
I completely forgot about the dumpsters. I should just mention that the next time someone brings it up, that that's a big part of what that pays for as well.
I'll make a motion to pass resolution 2024-10, special maintenance fee for the maintenance of street services.
I'll second.
There's been a motion and a second for resolution 2024-10, special maintenance fee for the maintenance of the street services for 2025. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, I will make a motion to go into executive session pursuant to 125-2-1 personnel, right?
Yep.
Dave?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll second it.
There's been a motion and a second to go in executive session at 6:20. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in executive session at 6:20.
All right. We are out of executive session at 7:06. Any motions? No? Going on to homecoming fireworks, I'm assuming this is for their end of the night homecoming fireworks. We just have to approve the contract, same as every other year that we approve. Any questions, comments? I'll make a, oh, sorry, did you have something, Dave?
Nope.
I'll make a motion to approve the signing Lou's firework display contract.
I'll second it.
I took Carrie.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Just so Dave can write down. Any further discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, moving forward, Dave for the finance office.
You should have the July revenue expense summaries in there. If you have any questions, I have a more detailed copy that you can take a look at. But let me know if you have any questions there. Questions on that at all before you go on to the next thing?
I don't have anything, no.
Okay. The next thing is a media policy to add into our personnel policy. This was one of the recommendations that came to us from the Public Assurance Alliance's loss control prevention officers. Basically what this is just giving the city staff direction on, God forbid, something were to happen and the media would come in, like the fire next door, or, you know, something, whatever. Just giving them direction on how to respond. Establishing the mayor, council president, or myself as the point of contact and who to send the media person to reach out to. And then on the back of it would be, everybody in the city would sign this on an annual basis, stating that they've read the policy and understand the policy and acknowledge it. So that would have to be approved by you guys to add to the personnel policy.
I think that's fine. I'm assuming other communities have it if the municipal league is recommending it.
Yeah, and this was worked up with, in conjunction with the attorneys for approval.
Okay.
The next thing is a safety manual. I did not print the whole thing because
Go back.
it's.
You need to make a motion.
My bad.
You're fine. I will make a motion to approve the media policy. Is it annual? Does it need to be for like 20? No, just, okay. I'll make a motion to approve the media policy.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion on it? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Sorry, continue.
Second is another recommendation by the loss control prevention officer is establishing a safety manual for the city. I did not print it for you guys because it's 18 pages long. I'm just going to run down a list of the table of contents. So it talks about discussing establishing a safety training program for all the city staff, safety inspections for equipment throughout the city, establishing a safety committee of staff, establishing a procedure for accident and incident reporting, control of hazardous energy, what it's called, lockout tagout for vehicles. If you're not familiar with that, just making sure when you're not in the vehicle, you have the vehicle's in park, keys are out of it, things like that. Fire prevention plan, emergency action plan, establishing policy for personnel protective equipment, hazard communication plan, ladder safety, motor vehicle use policy, and then again, an acknowledgement signature that employees would sign on an annual basis when they do their review.
Is this something that we've had, Dave, or is this all brand new?
This would be in addition to what we already have. This is new. This was the recommendation from that loss control prevention inspection that we had to do.
When was the last time that, I mean, before this point, when was the last time that was revised? Do you have any idea?
The full personnel manual?
Yeah.
The one I have, I believe, was 2020. I think there's been one amendment to it since.
So we're not yeah, I was
I know it's something in 2020.
Yeah, I think that was 2020. So, but once I have these incorporated into it, sometime later this year, I'll have everything recompiled. And I need to go look through the rest of it. There's some other stuff that needs to be updated, that we'll be able to address the whole personnel policy.
So once we make a motion on this, is that active? Like those things have to be followed immediately?
Yeah, it's best practice to have employees resign manual after the amendment to it, so they don't make the argument that they're under the prior policy. You know, something like this, you're not gonna get a ton of blowback on. So I would just recommend having all the employees sign it.
I just think that none of those things like ladder safety training, is there any?
There is stuff in here that covers that, and there is training that the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance and the Municipal League offer that we can get the staff that need.
I wonder if this would be something we should have, like, as of the first of the year or something, not March, but.
It doesn't have to be done now to get to sign off on all of those recommendations?
So the safety, like the ladder safety.
Sorry, that was just the one thing that I remember out of that table of contents.
No, you're fine.
Can you just go through it again? Because I feel like there's several things that like are going to
I
be
mean,
changes.
like the ladder safety, it's not like a specific class or anything.
It's basically saying, just since you're talking, different ladders are necessary. It's basically given a task that you have to use a ladder, make sure you use 3 points of contact, never use a defective ladder. It's just some safety reminders more than anything. It's not like a specific training that they.
So it's broken down right within the document. They don't have to do anything extra beyond read that.
In that 18
Correct.
pages.
Everything is included in here.
Oh, they would just have to
They
go
need to
through
read
it.
through it, acknowledge it.
That-
Oh, sorry.
I think if we're gonna republish, I think at that point, Dave, if we decided, hey, let's compile everything, republish it, send it out to all the employees and have them sign it.
These two, everybody will be emailed a copy, and they will need to send me a sign, or come in and sign the acknowledgement, as long as you pass for the media policy and this one now. And then we'll do another one at the beginning of the year for the entire policy.
Sorry, excuse me. All right, so we would need a motion for that.
I'll make a motion to approve the safety manual.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
The next one is, the need the council to approve renewing the ACH, the direct deposit payroll. Just the bank has to have us sign a new form every year, and they prefer to have it approved in council meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve renewal of ACH payroll with Premier Bank.
I'll second it. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Moving on to the building code enforcement officer. Sorry, what? Oh, you can check.
So we discussed this at the last one, Gary Rowan works with, I know it is Alta Point, Dorset City, Beersford. you probably know
Every
some
community and the county entity, except for Alcester.
I met him yesterday, so he's got a familiarity with the area. He would primarily do the actual building codes, which would fill the void. The contract that we have is the exact same one that Beersford has, except would report to Dave as the finance officer, so the city administrator. So I think it would be good for the city to have somebody in place so we can try to start at least getting some of these people that have some buildings that are in need of repair, get them a push to try to do that. So. And they would work directly with me, and especially since my goal is to use the same forms essentially, so we have things already in place. It's going to save the city money. Since we're working on the same stuff over in Beersford, we'll be able to use the exact same process and put things down with science as to we know where a building is in the process, if we have to take it to court, where they're at in the court process. And things will be streamlined compared to what they were.
Perfect. Thank you for doing that work.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask something like that. Oh, to let you guys know that when we did the budget, this and the code enforcer are both in there, in the finance section. It would be, can you remind me how much
I think we budgeted 6
for both?
combined.
Because the other one, if you remember when we contracted with him, he has a like lump sum, he uses that first and then anything after that is billed. This year we ran out of that really quick, but there are so many. I think going forward, we'll be able to maintain that for a little bit longer since he has more things under control and be able to spread that out a little bit
So he
longer.
just runs a retainer fee up to a certain amount.
The code enforcer does.
Property maintenance code, their annual retainer is 1,500. They use that, and then after that, it's billed.
Both of them.
For this gentleman,
Yeah.
for the building inspector,
Yeah.
he is a fee for service.
Right, so it's just each time.
Correct.
But hopefully, because like you said, everything is streamlined, it's not going to be as much like back and forth, play around with Dave and everything in between. It's just do what he needs to do to get started and then
That's the hope.
get started. So would this contract start now or at the beginning of the year?
You could have it set up to start effective immediately.
I mean, I'm
or
sure not many
January.
people are gonna be
I don't
building
think it would be
things.
a bad idea to at least have him come up and do, if he has time to do inspections before the winter, that way we kind of have some pinpoints, because not a lot of property that gets that in the winter,
Right.
which is understandable, but that way we kind of have a base idea of when we hit the spring.
When he's busy, we don't need him.
Yeah, and kind of what we discussed in over in beers from this is kind of the way Tom Fraser we're gonna like to do it. We like to focus on, like, you can't attack every single one with like, hey, you can tell them, we want to see this project done, give them notice and order. But it's not cost efficient, and also it takes a long time to get a court order to try to get things done, and it's expensive. So you kind of focus on the really, really bad ones and try to get some progress done on that. And then hopefully if some other people see, hey, they're going to court enforcement to do stuff, that gets them a little more active as well.
Perfect. I mean, I think it's kind of silly that we're the only one who doesn't have one, so.
Yeah, agreed.
We would just need a motion and to accept this contract.
I'll make a motion to accept the building code enforcement officer contract.
Effective immediately?
Yep.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
I know, like me, I've got money set aside to redo my garage, put the same kind of siding I have on my house. My contractors over in Hayward,
Are a little busy?
they're busy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not gonna get done.
our property maintenance inspector has been, talking to, those people that are in your situation and, giving them extensions. And as long as they're in touch with him and kind of just keeping him updated, he's
I
willing
think
to work with them
communication
on
is
extensions.
really
yeah.
just the most important.
Yeah, let them know
Just
that
from a safety perspective, the only buildings I think the city like is truly, hey, we gotta deal with this right now, or buildings that are either about to collapse in or are collapsing in, and like pose an actual.
Danger.
Yeah, the other ones, that's where you're able to give deadlines, extensions, hey, this is for their situations, and it makes it easier.
All right, moving on to water, the resolution 2024-11, extending the water surcharge. So this is, we had it set for 3 years. That was based on the numbers that were previously pulled for the new meter project. We have been receiving those surcharges and it has helped. That is how we are purchasing the meters and the endpoints to be an automated system. We have started that. We have hopefully got more of the meters in, or not quite yet.
They're coming.
They're coming.
Yeah.
So, and that will be almost all or half?
A little over half by the time
For
both
meters.
shipments. Between the meters and the endpoints, we'll have, between the meters and the endpoints, we'll have most of the residential stuff purchased and on hand.
It did come to light when we ran the report on how many gallons have gone through each meter. A lot more meters are actually over that 1 million gallon mark. Like even mine, and I live on the other side of town, has already gone over the 1 million gallon. I was surprised by that. I was not expecting anybody on that side of town to need their meter replaced.
I'll give you a better idea. My house is, I've owned it since brand new. It's less than 10 years old. I currently have 257,000 gallons.
I wonder how many mine is.
So a lot of this side of town is over that, and I was expecting quite a few of them to be. I didn't expect it as many that big. And the 1 million, not necessarily that they have to be replaced, but it is recommended. That is their end of life. So going based off of that number, that is kind of where we're judging the meters to be replaced. And it's a little bit more than we expected. So we are trying to do as many just endpoints as we can, and then we do have the person coming in to replace the meters as they are available, which is also limited. We have not purchased the commercial ones yet, which are more expensive or bigger, obviously. So those will probably be last to purchase.
That's the plan right now is,
Yeah.
hopefully I can get those ordered yet this year before the 2025 estimated 5% cost increase is kind of the plan, is at least to get them ordered,
Yes.
because they will take a little bit longer to ship.
Um,
But install wise, probably springtime, summertime.
Yeah. So with that, we did a 3-year plan. It started probably closer to COVID when everything was not so high. And then it was pushed off, and then they actually implemented the 3-year to get money, the surcharge, to start collecting on it, to then purchase it. We made the decision, to go forward with it. We all discussed it. We have not started it, but looking at it, we do not have enough to cover it fully with the cost and the increase in prices. So we are hoping to get everything purchased this year so we don't incur another annual increase, pushing it back even more. But this resolution would just extend it for 1 more year to collect that money, and it would go towards the project, and then it would be done. So, any questions on it? We did talk about it, like, should we stop it now and then see where we sit and then add it again? I said that I think the city and the customers would be more frustrated to have a $5 surcharge that has been already charged for 3 years, stop and then come back again,
Right.
instead of just continuing it. I was just thinking with our other water charges that we're adding on, how could we alleviate that? And I really just think we thought of it, should it be 1 year, should it be 2, like looking at the budget, can we finance, what could we do? And I think 1 year is just the best and least detrimental to our citizens, but still getting everything done that we need to get done. So, any questions on it?
Our goal with this is to be, and this kind of segues into B, but Turner Plumbing is coming up weekly on Thursdays to install meters. They're able to get about 10 meters installed per week, as long as people are home. So our goal is hopefully to be able to get this finished completely by spring.
So, and every week it makes it a little bit easier, every month if they do, 40 a month, that's 40 less that somebody has to go read. And so that will also start cutting back on the hours of the people who are reading the meters, so that'll help as well. But, any questions? We would just need a motion to pass the resolution.
I will make motion to pass resolution number 2024-11, extending the water surcharge for 2025.
I'll second it. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution passed.
So I kind of talked about this already, but Turner Plumbing's coming up, getting those installed. Had our onboarding training with the background software last week. And one of the things I really wanted to kind of point out to you guys that you can help me pass on to the citizens is once they have the new meter or just the endpoint installed and we're able to auto read, they can install an app on their phone called Eye on Water. This gives them real-time access to their water usage. They can set it up to detect leaks on their own, on their side. We can also set it up on our side to detect leaks per addresses. So if we see a spike in their usage, we can give that person a call. And that's one of the reasons why we've been asking citizens for their cell phone numbers and email addresses. So once this project is done, we can detect leaks, we can detect water loss, help reduce those questions of, is my bill right? So, but it gives the citizen a peace of mind being able to utilize that app for those that are smartphone users. And if they have questions, once that meter is installed, they can come up to the office, I can help them download it. They will need their exact billing account number and their zip code. It's pretty simple. I set mine up on Friday with the trainer that was here from Wisconsin. Super slick. Integration with our billing software is going well. A few small little hiccups with computers, you know, but nothing that we haven't been able to handle. So it's going pretty smooth. Questions on that at all?
No, thank you for the update.
The other exciting thing is starting tomorrow, our Nuvei online bill notification and payment option goes live. So starting tomorrow, when we run a new bill cycle, it's uploaded to Nuvei, and anybody that goes out to that site, and I will make sure you all have it written down tonight so you can send out to people, but it was also posted on our Facebook and on our website. They can go out to that site and sign up for the account. This will give them access to the Nuvei site, and they will get their bill electronically. They'll be able to pay it with debit card, credit card, Apple Pay, the whole works. They can set it up to auto debit their account. Continuing, so as soon as we post the bills, they can set it up, hey, I want it to debit my bank account on this date, and it's all automatic. So it's what they've been asking for, and finally we get to go live tomorrow after 3+ months of this. So benefit for us is the more people that are using that, the less we have to pay in stamps, because stamps went up again for the second time this year. So we're spending well in excess of $2,000 to $3,000 a year on just postcard stamps. So
Is there a service fee on this one?
the service fee on the back end, I believe, is $1.99 for an ACH transaction, and it's like 3% for a credit card, just like any of the other service fees.
Okay.
So they're basically the same as what they were for any of the other services we've used, but they're just having every option available to them to do it. So I believe the bank, I'd have to look at it again, and it does discuss it when you go on there. It talks about the fees and stuff. So, but so yeah, starting tomorrow, people can go ahead and sign up for that. And if they have questions, they can call the city office. Nuvei on that website, they also have a 24/7 hotline that our citizens can call into if they have questions or comments or concerns about their bill, to help try and relieve some of the calls in here too. So.
All right, moving on to reminders.
Yep, just a reminder, hopefully everybody's aware, pass it on, the new date for the bills, on the 20th. It's just so people see that. And then also just wanted to trying to remind everybody that starting October 1st is that new $10 sewer surcharge that's coming into effect for the sanitary sewer improvement project. So they'll start seeing that on their October bill. Fall cleanup coming September 13th through the 30th. The downtown dump lots will have the dumpsters. And then just reminding everybody that Monday, September 2nd, the office will be closed for Labor Day.
All right, anything else? Do we need an executive session? No? All right, I just need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
No seconded.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:31.